Slow down here. There's a lot of them.
Okay, welcome, everybody. We'll start this public meeting first. The public meeting this evening is being held under the Planning Act and involves a zoning bylaw amendment application related to the property at 9025 County Road 15. This public meeting is a separate item from tonight's regular council meeting. Procedure for the public meeting will be as follows. Number one, to start, the planner will confirm how notice was given for the zoning amendment application, then outline the proposed amendment and summarize any comments received to date. Number two, after hearing from the planner, the meeting will be open to anyone who may have registered a request with the clerk to attend this meeting to address council. I would ask any persons wishing to speak on this matter to please give your full name and street address for the record. Number three, once everyone wanting to speak has been heard, the public meeting will be closed. All questions should be directed through myself as chair. I'll now ask the planner to advise how notice was given, to outline the application, and advise of any comments received. Melissa.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the method of the notification for the public meeting that's being held before council this evening, an advertisement was published in the Brockville Reporter Times on March 1st. This notice meets the requirements for giving public notification 20 days in advance of this public meeting under the Planning Act. We did circulate to prescribed agencies under the Planning Act, as well as township departments. In addition, as per the township's past practices, we also did circulate to property owners within 400 feet of the property, giving them personal service of the application by mail, and that was done on February 28th. So with respect to appeal rights, it should be noted for this application that only the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body as defined under the Planning Act that has an interest in this matter may appeal this or all of this to the Ontario Land Tribunal. For anyone who is entitled to appeal this, if they do not make oral submissions at this public meeting or do not make written submissions to the township before the amendment is adopted by bylaw or otherwise considered by council, then that person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of council to the Ontario Land Tribunal. And also that person may not be added as a party to the hearing before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless it's in the opinion of the tribunal that there's reasonable grounds to do so. Further, as noted in the notice, if anyone wishes to receive a copy of the decision of council, they do need to make a written request for that notice to the clerk. So specifically regarding this amendment, before council, the property is currently a 0.22 acre lot with about 70.26 feet of road frontage. The purpose of the application is to rezone the lands from a CV, which is a commercial village zone, to a site-specific RV village residential zone. This would permit a dwelling, a single detached, as well as a dwelling, a duplex. The intent is to utilize the previous store as a building at the building, which was on the main floor, as either the entire building as a dwelling or a duplex use, which would be one unit on each of the floors. Site servicing and sewage would put limits on the number of bedrooms that would be permitted in this residential use scenario. So the lands are designated settlement area under our official plan. So comments received to date on the application. I did receive an email from our chief building official on February 28th, advising of no concerns. I did receive an email from the fire chief dated March 4th, advising of no concerns and confirming their understanding that a change of use permit would be required. I did receive an email from Laura Kreitz from South Nation Conservation on March 4th. She advised of no objection to permit residential uses on the property. They did note, however, the current septic system would determine the number of bedrooms and the applicant needs to complete a septic compliance review with their office. I received an email from Rideau Valley Conservation Authority, the planner there, Eric Lalonde. He advises that formal confinements will be provided after payment of their review fee. It hasn't been paid yet. We did receive a letter from John Baker. I don't have an address. The letter details that 2 other properties in North Augusta have been converted to residential uses, including 8105 Main Street, which was formerly Beaton's Store. It was converted to 3 apartments, as well as a property at the corner of County Road 6 and 15, which was formerly the Red and White Store, which is now 3 apartments. In his letter, he questioned whether these other properties are all properly zoned, and his letter states of the need to maintain commercial zoning. So these are all the comments that have been received to date on the application.
Okay, thank you. We will now open the floor for any public comments.
Hi, my name is Lisa Clark. I'm the owner of the property at 9025 County Road 15. And I am actually here to state that I am in the process of actually selling the property. And I have been made an offer that will be hopefully closing on May 31st. And I would like to leave it as a commercial residential property that it is actually listed as now, as opposed to changing it and rezoning it to the residential that we originally applied for. If it's not applicable to do that today while I'm here, then if we need to extend it by 90 days to cover the, to cover the closing date and whatever, that would be acceptable as well, I would assume.
Okay.
I think that's all I needed to say. Thank you.
Melissa, you want to give some info on that?
So this is kind of a first, for me, believe it or not. An application being, potentially withdrawn, during the process. Obviously, we did advertise, we do have to have the public meeting, which we have just, are currently holding. The applicant does have the ability to withdraw an application. It doesn't have to proceed, or they can request a deferral of the application by a certain amount of days if the intent is to keep the property commercial. It is currently zoned CV, which does permit a commercial use as well as an accessory dwelling. So it would be, I guess, at the direction, we would need a written request. And then I guess it would be at the direction of council, to grant an extension. Normally, I would take this to the planning advisory committee and back to council for bylaw. We have 90 days to deal with an application, but if the applicant's asking for a deferral or a withdraw of the application because they do wish it retained, that's definitely something council can entertain.
I'll see if there's any more questions. First of all, does anybody else wish to say anything? So cleanest way is to withdraw it, is it not?
No. Again, like if I could just speak to that, I guess my only concern with just a withdrawal is I understand that the property's already been converted to 2 apartments currently, which is in contravention of the zoning bylaw. So if the sale falls through, then they would need to reapply again for that use. Do you know what I mean? So that would be my only concern with first, opposed to deferring it and then withdrawing it if the sale does go through, that they no longer need that residential use. But again, it's up to the applicant if they want to withdraw it and then have to reapply. If for whatever reason the purchase didn't go through. I assume that the applicant has the CV zone provisions and use that they're looking to do is in that list. I don't know, there is limitations on the commercial uses. I don't know if they're aware of what those are.
So we're actually present.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just your name, please, and address.
I'm Laura Holly. Home address is 3216 Duplo Road.
So you are the purchaser, the
Yeah.
seller?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. 3216. So, yes, we're looking to purchase the property as of June 1st. Our intention so far is to possibly return it to a general store, and possibly gas station, kind of going back to where it was. So the downstairs would remain commercial, upstairs would remain residential.
Seeing both parties are in agreement, where does that stand with the planning act?
It doesn't really matter to me. If they really would like to withdraw the application, they can certainly do so. I think we just need a written request, confirming they would like to withdraw. And
Is that feasible with?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I don't want to stretch this out.
No,
I mean,
no.
I want to make everybody happy, yeah.
No, that's fine, for sure, perfect. We're
Okay,
both on the same page here, so it's
yeah, which is
Yeah.
unusual. Or,
nice for a change.
so, okay,
So I'll do a written request for withdrawal with you then,
yeah, I just got
with Melissa?
Melissa,
Okay.
here,
Yeah.
anything else to add, Melissa?
Nothing.
Okay, I'll ask again if there's any other questions. Any other public comments on the floor? Going once? Twice? 3 times. We will now close this public meeting. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
welcome.
Soon.
Okay, so we will call the regular council, meeting to order, March 24th, 2025, 6 P M. Meeting to order. First, we have the acknowledgement statement. I don't mind reading it. Augusta Township acknowledges that we live and work in ancestral territories of indigenous people. The township recognizes all indigenous peoples and honors their past, present, and future. The township values and respects their cultural heritages and relationship to the land. Okay, first of all, mayor's opening remarks. Councilor Henry sends her regrets. She's got a chest cold. So I hope she gets better. I had the honor of attending the AAA hockey tournament, or the Leah Boyman Showcase last Friday night for the ceremonial puck draw. So it was good to have 11 teams. Part of this team was from, I think, Kapuskasing. So that's quite a journey for a hockey team. So anyway, it was, went all right. Nobody booed the American flag, which I was, was nice, but they didn't get a clap either. So anyway, kind of Canadian way. What we've started doing, and this is mostly for council, is that we're putting together a working group that will consist of the mayor, the deputy mayor, the CAO, and the treasurer. And we're going to meet once a month to look at finances. Okay, keep a handle on that. Naturally, I can't have council sitting on that because it'd be council meetings. So anyway, we're going to do that, and we've set the dates already. And we're just going to drill down on kind of the expenses and where we want to go, and just kind of be in a better order looking towards 2026. I noticed on second concession, there was bags of garbage, somebody's cleaning all the ditches already. So I was impressed, and people do that. They saw a nice spring day and they got out there and started clearing the ditches. So, pitching day, I don't know who's organizing that. If that's the Act Dev committee or if it's, one of the councilors.
Used to be active, but.
Yeah, so anyway, let's see if we can get that going. Sorry?
Public Works are organizing it.
Okay,
Yeah, it was already advertised today.
was it?
I saw it today. 26th, I think. Yes,
Yeah.
April.
All right, please don't comment. And, anyway, it was nice seeing some of the residents taking the initiative. Mayor's breakfast this Friday morning. We were sold out, then not sold out, and then, anyway, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people there. Anyway, very good turnout. So, it's great. We need a picture of council, unfortunately. Councilor Henry isn't here, so we're gonna have to, the next meeting, we have her in. Photoshop her in. And we're starting to get to a lot of calls on our proper industrial property. So there is a bit of light coming through, so that's good. And just another thing, Councilor Lockett. Last thing I heard, she's in an induced coma. Naturally, they do that usually when a person has a brain injury. So, that's the last thing I heard. Laurie, I'm gonna have to ask you, if you're not gonna stop, I'm gonna ask you to leave. Okay? Because we can hear everything up here.
No, she just asked what happened to her.
Well, just have to wait, I guess. All right. So let's begin. The approval of the agenda. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wynan, seconded by Councillor Pate, be resolved that the agenda for Monday, March 24, 2025, be adopted. Does anybody have any changes to the agenda? Okay, see nothing, I'll ask the question. All in favor? Carried. I'm hesitating up here because the clerk and I have got a new system, so we're both trying to work through it here. So anyway, we'll get it. And next, the approval of the minutes previous meeting. Moved by Councillor Pape, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wynan. Be it resolved that council approve the minutes of the March 10th, 2025 council meeting as distributed to all members. Does any member have any change or anything? No, I see nothing. I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Yep. Next, we have any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Agenda. See nothing. Any business arising from the minutes? Yeah, see nothing. No delegations, presentations tonight. Correspondence and petitions. And we have tonight, World Autism Day proclamation, April 2nd, 2025. And, you have to vote on this usually. No. So anyway, we're going to recognize that. I'll just read it quickly. Whereas World Autism Day is recognized on April 2nd, 2025 in Canada, Autism Ontario is one of the largest collective voices representing the autism community and the work we do to help all autistic individuals and families in their communities have access to meaningful support, information, and connections, not only on April 2nd, but every day throughout the year. And where autism impacts more than 135,000 individuals in Ontario, representing 1 in every 50 Canadian children and youth. It is not only influences the lives of autistics, but they're also their friends, families, and communities. It is crucial for us to raise an awareness and acceptance, provide support, and promote a more inclusive society. And whereas autism is a diverse spectrum that varies widely among individuals, each person's experience with autism can change over time. This evolving journey highlights the uniqueness of every autistic individual, emphasizing the need for understanding and support tailored to the specific needs. And whereas Autism Ontario is a leading source of information and referral on autism. And since 1973, it has been providing support, information, and opportunities for thousands of families and individuals across the province. And whereas Autism Ontario is devoted to raising public awareness about autism and addressing the everyday challenges faced by individuals with autism, their families, and the professionals who work alongside them. We urge everyone to recognize and celebrate the unique differences and needs of others, fostering an inclusive environment where all individuals can participate fully in activities and discussions. Together, we can create a society that values and includes everyone. Therefore, be it resolved, April 2nd, 2025, you're recognized as April 2nd as World Autism Day, while committing to embrace awareness and acceptance today and every day throughout the year. Dated at the Township of Augusta, Ontario, the 24th day of March 2025. So anyway, I think we all agree on that. Okay, next we have our committee reports. So, County's council, we had a county's council meeting. Pretty short, and then we went into, interviews for CAOs. And, we did a couple, so I think we made a decision. No announcement has been made, because naturally they've got to do some more information checking. So hopefully they'll have a CAO, I imagine, probably. Hopefully soon, I'm hoping in April sometime, so. And the other thing with counties, I had a Limerick meeting. And, Friends of Limerick meeting, and, Jackson White, who we all know is Cabin, he's actually putting up a building there, behind the chalet. And it will be a building for mostly small children. They have the playground there. And it's just a building so they can get out of the poor weather or whatever. And I didn't see the floor plans on it or anything, but still it's being donated. So it's pretty good. Okay, conservation areas, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah. Excuse me. At our last elevation meeting, we had our AGM and I was re-elected as vice chair. Our executive stayed the same. We had one addition because we don't have the past chair. We have now a second vice, which is a lady from Ottawa. Rideau Valley, we did a mock hearing and I was involved in that because I'm now on the executive for Rideau Valley. And, on April 8th, South Nation is going to have their municipal information day. So I know Melissa's planning on attending and I will too.
I had something booked that day, didn't I?
I think so.
Yes, I'm one way, so. Okay, any questions for the deputy mayor? No? All right, recreation. Anybody? Yep,
All right, so I'm just gonna start out with, Roebuck. We found out actually when we met with them last, but it's coming up. In June of this year, the Roebuck Community Hall will be celebrating its 50th anniversary. So I have just some information kind of on the background of what led to this incredible building coming to existence. So the hall was built from grants that came from the Ontario Ministry of Community Services, the Community Center grant, the Government of Canada, the Winter Works Project grant, and the New Horizons grant, as well as the Ministry of Culture and Recreation, the Wintario grant. They also received 125 in-kind donations from companies, organizations, and individuals from all across this area. And within the last 50 years, there have been many volunteers that have come and gone through the doors of the hall, as we know. The hall has seen many changes over the 50 years. It's held weddings, anniversaries, dinners, and many, many more events. And with the current volunteers and the hall, it will remain active and a vital part of Augusta Township for the next 50 years to come. So, you know, and we're starting to plan some kind of commemorative event to recognize that milestone, and we'll have details on that once it comes forward.
oh, great stuff. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah. Northwest, at their meeting, they actually formally decided that Canadian is going to be their theme for Labor Day. And they're working on all the other events going with Labor Day. They're looking at trying to maybe get in a band for Saturday night, bring that back. So a lot of work being done on that. Registration is going for ball and soccer. It's almost closed. So
Does anybody know the soccer fees this year?
For Memphis, I don't know.
I think it was 50. I'm not sure though.
Do you have any intel on Prescott? The reason I ask is in Kingston, my grandkids, $140 soccer registration. So,
I think Mark was.
yeah, that's, everything jumps in.
Yeah, they had their list on their Facebook page for different ages.
Yeah,
No, but it wasn't outrageous.
no, but this is just a small community like North Augusta, same side, 140. Wow. It's, especially when I had Canadian. All right, Yes.
Mark. The pancake dinner or the pancake breakfast was not as well attended as it was in the years past. I don't have any, confirmed numbers. The lending library was there and they said it wasn't very busy. A lot of that depends on the weather, whether there's good skiing or skating or whatever, and there really wasn't. But the awareness, they were there for the awareness of people to know about the lending library at the library. The next, community potluck is April 3rd from 6 to 7:30 at the Merc Hall. The first one was, in March, no, February, and it was very well attended. And basically what you do is you go, you bring a plate, a dish, and then everybody sits down and has dinner together. And then May 24th is gonna be their barbecue, their chicken barbecue, and it's $25 for a half a chicken and, coleslaw and I think potato and all that kind of stuff. And then just a reminder that every Thursday from 9:30 to 11:30 is Little Acorns, and, the children go and they play and parents get together and talk and have coffee and stuff like that. So.
Your worship.
Yeah.
So I found that the fee, so for North Augusta Recreation for all levels is $40. If you do the early bird and if you wait, then it's 50.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, big difference, but
yeah,
same ground. Yeah, I don't know.
There's difference, there's a difference.
And I just while we're on recreation, I know it's part of, can you give a quick blurb on the, March break camp?
Yeah, the March break camp sold out, so, it went very well. And, registration is still open for the summer. It's not quite full yet, so, there's trying to make a push over the next few weeks to try and see if we can get the numbers up. And I've had a conversation with Kathleen, and if we don't see the numbers getting to a certain point, we might have to start looking at something else or something like that, so.
Good.
They're not where we want it to be right now, and it could be just because people are still in hockey and stuff, and as they're progressing out of it, you'll get that uptake, so that's what we're hoping would happen, so.
Yeah, hockey's just ending now.
Exactly right, so, and then people will think of what they're doing for the summer next, so.
Good. Thanks. Okay, sorry, library board?
Yeah, your worship. Our meeting the other night was a combination of, January, February. So between January and February, they had 15 new members. They are looking at doing a plant sale, May 31st from 9 to 1. They're also looking at possibly doing a paint night, but they want to get more particulars about that. And I believe everybody is aware that, Angie is retiring. So her last day is March 31st, and Jackie, all with 24-year service, and then Jackie Kelly also retired. Her last meeting was our meeting last week, and Jackie was with the, board for 30 years. So they're retiring, and, so that means that Corwin is moving into the place of Angie, so he'll be the new head librarian. And then, the assistant librarian has been hired, and, his name is Max LaRock. And then the new library clerk is Samantha Burridge. So the two of them have come on board. Also that on Wednesdays, they do the Lego and the morning story time. And, they do the homeschooling activities and crafts on the Tuesday. They also do, needlework group, needles and pins. They meet on Monday mornings. And they also do a craft table at the library, and it changes every month. And that's all I have.
Good, thank you. Good report. Thanks, Councilor Bowman. Okay, economic development and tourism, I don't think we haven't had a meeting.
we haven't had a meeting, a full group meeting. The vice chair and myself met with the CAO and Willow on Tuesday, Monday?
Last Monday.
Last Monday, yeah. I was like, I have no meeting anymore. Just to try to figure out a more sustainable direction for the Maker's Map. So we have settled on something that I think is going to be really well. We're going to present it to the rest of the committee at our meeting, which won't be till April the 7th, just we missed, if it would have been 30 days, it would have been Monday, but unfortunately, the last day of the month is this coming Monday, so we have to wait a whole other week. But of course, we have the breakfast on Friday, and you're cooking, remember? Keep having to remind him, he keeps forgetting. But yeah, so I mean, we're happy with the turnout for that. Disappointed that our staff can't all join us, but you know, it's you know, we'll be happy that they'll be here holding down the fort. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Next we have the PAC Planning Committee.
Yeah.
There's nothing to report on.
Okay, good. Police Services Board, or the OPPDB, anyway, we haven't had a meeting, it's sometime in April, so there's no report on that. And River Route,
Nothing to report, just for meeting, having our first meeting sometime in April, so we'll help with the report, second meeting in April for council.
good. Next we have, staff reports. And it's report 2025-039-2025/2026 insurance renewal. And that's moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Faith. Be it resolved, the council approved the submission from Marsh Canada Limited for general insurance program renewal covering the period of February 17th, 2025 to May 17th, 2026 in the amount of $261,665 plus applicable taxes. So I noticed you gave us handouts, which no one has read.
No, for council information only.
And so you just give us a quick blurb on what you gave us.
Yep, no, so
I'm
certainly,
familiar from last year.
yeah, so basically the one pager is a kind of a cheat sheet that basically shows council all the different policies that make up our insurance, as well as the limits that are covered under each of our policies. So as I indicated in the report, our insurance is up 11.3% in comparison to last year. And that's just due to the market, with claims increasing and costs going up. It's kind of, we're in line with what the market's dictating right now. Council will see there's an additional $51,000 that will be a prepaid expense going into next year. So there is no budget hit at all to council. And that's just to give us more time to get the proper documentation to our insurer for the renewal. Because usually in the past, we're trying to get the information in December and January. And that's usually when we're preparing budget, doing year end and everything. So this will give us a little bit more time into the year to get the information to our policy. Other than that, if council has any questions, be more happy to answer. And certainly Matthew has offered, who we deal with at Helpenny. If council wants, he came last year, kind of a refresher. He's more than happy to come at a future meeting delegation to just provide council with an update on the insurance in all, so.
So looking at the cheat sheet here is, so it looks at 21,757,046 insured values. So
That's buildings, vehicles, infrastructure, everything. They're pretty comprehensive insurance, but it's certainly no different than any municipality across Ontario that has to have coverage for everything from our buildings to cars to cyber to everything else.
yeah, and as I told one resident that they're all interconnected.
Yeah.
Because you'll have smaller insurance companies, but they're tied to the larger insurance companies, which basically set the rates. And yes, are we paying for the wildfires in California or the floods in the East Coast or whatever? Yes, we are, but unfortunately, that's how the insurance business works. Does anybody have any questions, comments? Yeah.
Yeah, mayor comment, but we're still, right now, still cheaper than what Impact was.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah.
when we switched from Impact to Marsh, we had quite a savings, but they didn't warrant us that, yeah, it would be ratcheting back up and eventually may get as high as Intact, but it hasn't, yeah, so.
I believe you, through you, Mayor, we're probably over the last 2 years since we transitioned maybe $30,000 that we had from the initial that we've increased, so we're still well below what we were initially paying before.
Yeah, because we saved about 200 and some odd
Correct.
thousand, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Next, we have operations and recreation. And moved by Councilor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wyans, be resolved that council receives staff report 2025-035 for information, and that staff be directed to proceed with a one-year contract extensions with Grant Bartholomew, G. Thackray and Sons Construction Company, and Daily Dust Control. So, everybody's got the background on that. These are three common ones that we deal with every year. Does anybody have any comments? Yes, Deputy.
Yeah, the only comment is these three were a lot cheaper than the other quotes that come in last year. And we had said that we would look at extending them for another year. We got that same price, so it's great that we did.
Yep. Any other comments? John, you want to say anything? No?
Nope. Straightforward, nope.
Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Yeah. Next, we have planning and building services and protective services. Report 2025-036, moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councilor Pate. Be it resolved that council approve the creation of an Augusta Fire Rescue Junior Firefighter Program. And we got the information here. And I believe there's three options attached to it. So, comments? Yes, Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I just kind of like a little more information on this program and, is there going to be, we're going to be covered, are we going to be covered in liability for these kids that are going to be coming on and doing training and stuff, and are they going to be using used bunker gear and stuff, or we have to get something smaller to fit them?
Through your worship. So I've done a lot of research with similar programs throughout Eastern Ontario. And every single one has them sign waivers and their parents, right, sign waivers. Of course, one of the things, if we do this is that, safety will be top of mind. Just for an example, we run our hoses at 100, 120 PSI. For this group, it would be like 50. So, everything will be done, size of safety will be top of mind, but there's a waiver, and then we'd be having an information night that the parents would come and attend so that they know what was going on. And sorry, what was the other part of the question, Deputy Mayor?
Well, it was just like,
Gear stuff.
what this program is going to cost and what it involves with our regular firefighters.
Yeah, so, sorry.
Yeah.
Through your worship, so, and in regards to their gear, they'll be using, expired gear that our firefighters can't wear, right? So they won't be doing wear and tear on, gear that we're going to be using in a house. It's all going to be expired gear. If we have a hard time fitting someone, then they might have to share gear, but we get calls, quite frequently from other departments that have similar type programs. Hey, do you guys have a few extra sets of gear this size or that size or boots or helmets? We'll share it around. I'm quite confident that won't be an issue. In regards to our firefighters, we've got a committee of 6 set up. They're all ready and willing and able to do this, to give our youth some role models and to provide our youth with something other than maybe screen time, and to help with our recruitment too. Every department in Leeds and Granville is looking for personnel, and it might help us to not only help a kid by our youth by giving a role model, but also in the future maybe helping us back by becoming a firefighter. We hope to only do 6 to 10, right? We don't want to have a whole lot of kids, and there's a couple of reasons for that. There's only going to be 2 firefighters there every evening, so we want to keep the numbers low so that for safety purposes, they can be watched very closely, that nothing happens. I don't think there'd be any more risk than a co-op program through high school or anything like that. So.
Okay, that sounds good.
Any other questions?
He asked me questions.
I hate it when I see minimal costs, but sometimes that can explode. And, so, and this year especially, we're gonna be watching costs, so, I realize you have a budget, but we're gonna be looking at that. To me, something like this, the firefighters association should be sponsoring more than anything else. But that's my way of thinking, so, anyway, I'll just make that comment.
Through your worship, if I may, so, the $2,000 is only for firefighters, for the time, right? And we've, tracked out how many nights it's going to be over how many months, and, we don't feel it's gonna be any more than that, and our call volume right now, again, this can change in a month, right? So I'm not going to tell council this is true, but, currently our call volume right now is down 17%. But I'm very confident that $2,000, that we can do it with that, and, if council wishes at the end of the program, we will be doing a meeting to, look at what worked well, what didn't work well. Do we want to do it again? I would be more than happy to present council with, the actual cost at the end of that.
Yeah, if you don't mind, please. And, we'll take it from there. We're trying to watch everything we spend,
Absolutely.
so. All right, so I assume that council's happy with it. It's option 2, it's option one, council approved the junior fighter program. So I'll call the question. All in favor? Here. Next, we have report 2025-037, moved by Councilor Bowman, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wyman. Be resolved, the council approve the fire prevention policy as attached to staff report 2025-037. Any comments there?
Yes, your worship. So this is, we've always had a fire prevention inspection policy. We've always had one. It's just come to my attention now from talking with, fire marshal's office that this should be approved by council.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
His alarm was.
No, it's just a library.
It's all good. So like I said, we've always had a fire prevention policy. We've had one for as long as I can remember to do with inspections and how we're gonna do fire prevention. It's just, it's coming to my attention recently in conversations with the fire marshal's office that they should be approved by council, so like council knows what our policy is and what we're doing. And it only makes sense. So, this is, a very common policy. We receive different types of different policies from different municipalities and from the fire marshal's office as templates, and we basically use those. So it's really not changing a whole lot. It's just putting it on paper, letting council know that this is what we're doing.
No, I thought it was an annual thing, actually, where we submitted it and it had to be updated annually. No. Any other questions for the chief?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, Rob, an idea I had it kind of fits in what we did with Maynard School last year. Last year, we did the name a truck. And that worked out really well, and we have some prizes for the kids. I was thinking if we did something with the firefighters and maybe have them write an essay on how would you escape your place if there's a fire, and do you know where your smoke alarms are? And if they did a little drawing and a little essay, and then we could pick winners. And then we could supply some prizes. So it would be education for the kids on fire prevention and safety, because there was recently, just in the news, there was a couple of fires where people were trapped inside, and whether the smoke detector wasn't working or they didn't know how to get out, if they were down in the basement or whatever. So I think an escape route is really important.
Yeah, through your worship, that is, two of the main things that we always preach with the kids at the schools, but maybe doing a map like that's a good idea. I'll 100% mention it to our fire prevention committee, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Call the question, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Does anybody have any notice of motions tonight? Okay, I see nothing. Bylaws. Moved by Deputy Mayor Whiting, seconded by Councilor Bowman. Be resolved that bylaw 3770-2025, being a bylaw to approve submission of an application to Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation, OILC, for the long-term financing of certain capital works of the Township of Augusta municipality, and to authorize the entering into a rate offer letter agreement pursuant to which the municipality will issue debentures to OILC, be read a first time, second time, third time, be enacted as read. So, CAO, do you want to give a quick word?
Sure. So this was a follow-up to the direction given at our last council meeting on March 10th, that council wanted to proceed with the financing of the 2026 tandem Freightliner snowplow, which was would be replacing truck number 2. So tonight, as part of the requirements under the Ontario infrastructure, is we've already submitted an application. The first step will be council passing the borrowing bylaw tonight. And then there's other documentation that we have to submit, our ARL, as far as what we're allowed to borrow, a copy of our financial statements and some other information. We've put in a loan date to be June 1st, and with the anticipation of it being completed by July 15th. So usually probably sometime in May, we will get a rate offer. So right now the rate as of today is 3.12% for a 5-year, which is actually up in comparison to last council meeting. But that rate will fluctuate until we get the rate offer. We will have basically 24 hours to sign the rate offer, which will be signed off by the mayor and our treasurer. And that will be the rate that we pay moving forward. So I continue to hope that the rate will continue to maybe hopefully go down when we sign it, but that's kind of where we're at right now, and certainly the first part is getting this into Infrastructure Ontario.
Comments, questions? Woody? The only comment I have, I was not in favor of this. I will sign it, whatever it is, because that's my job. I don't support it, so, anyway. Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Yep. Does anybody have any announcements? Yes.
I have a few. So, Cabin Fever Jam is on March the 30th at the Grenville Snowmobile Club. Breakfast in the morning, and then they have like a rehearsal, and then the actual show starts like around noon. And I think it's like 6 or 7. Sherwood Park Manor is having a Casino Royale in the evening of our mayor's breakfast. So it's at the Brockville Memorial Center from 7 till 10. There's live music from Sue Baker and the Rhythm Makers. There's going to be a teen scene group. It's a biweekly social group for neurodivergent teens. Start April the 16th at the North Augusta Community Hall. It'll run from 7 till 10, and the cost is $20 per person. And last but not least, the Grenville Snowmobile Club is having a landowner breakfast on April the 5th from 8 a.m. until noon. It's $15 per person, but it's free for landowners with a CUP or GSA. It's all you can eat: pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, toast, drink coffee, tea, whatever. So lots of fun stuff coming up in the township this spring.
Anybody else?
Yeah, so on Wednesday, the 26th, in the town of Prescott, at the town hall from 4:30 to 7:30, there's an information session on wastewater, water and wastewater. Probably some money, I guess they got it from the province. And then I don't know the exact date, but in April, the mayor's breakfast is coming up for Elizabeth Kemley. So probably some of the
Bronco Chamber, yeah.
Yeah, Bronco Chamber.
Okay.
So since they support us pretty good.
And I can't make the water or wastewater right at 4:00, 4:30?
4:30, yeah.
Hopefully my other meeting will end and then I'll rush down to that one too. Yeah, it's getting busy. Okay, any other announcements? And we had the fireman's pancake one, right? That's April.
That's through your worship.
Yeah.
I was gonna say April 12th, as the Fireman's Pancake Supper at Station 2. It's our annual event. I think I know as long as I've been around, we've had it. So at least 30 years. And it's $12 for adults and $6 for 12 and under. And that gets you pancakes, sausages, baked beans, and real maple syrup. We're looking forward to seeing everybody.
Good. Nothing else? Okay, super. So do we have any press on board? No?
No.
Okay, so any questions on the agenda items for the public? Yes, Maureen.
Just a question on what Rob is suggesting. I think it's a great idea. And just to mention to the CAO, any new program that starts, make sure you let the insurance company know this is new.
Already done.
Past history has proved that, a little bit costly with the township, so that's something I wanted to suggest. And just voice my disappointment in council passing the bylaw for the truck. Given the circumstances, it's never actually been a very, not really approved by council before borrowing, period, especially for something like this. I did send a note to you all just to express my feelings, and I'm disappointed in council. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any comments? Okay. Continue with the meeting. It's no closed session, I believe. No? And confirmation, very well. Moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans, be resolved that bylaw number 3771-2025 confirm the proceedings of the council of the township of Augusta at its meeting held on March 24th, 2025 be read first time, second time, third time, and be enacted as read. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Emily? Moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, second by Councillor Bowman, be resolved that this council do now adjourn at 6:51 PM until April 14th, 2025. Is that correct? April 14th, 2025 at 6 PM for the call of mayor's subject meeting. Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
See everybody on Friday morning.